$342,000. That's the number the judge read out loud in a courtroom full of strangers. 342,000. Every digit felt like a punch to the chest. Stolen. Over 4 years, from a business I built with my own 2 hands, by a woman I called my sister. I sat in the 3rd row, hands folded. She sat at the defendant's table in a gray suit. Didn't look at me once, not when the bank statements scrolled, not when the judge asked if she had anything to say. She just stared at her hands. I sat there thinking about 15 years of birthday dinners, of, I've got your back, always. People who met us asked if we were blood sisters. All of it was a performance. Every, I love you, sis, all of it was cover for what she was doing behind my back. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Because the worst part of this story isn't the money she stole, or the forged signatures, or the identity theft. The worst part is how long I defended her, how many red flags I buried, because I loved her too much to see what she really was. I met Danielle when we were both 23, first day of a marketing internship in Charlotte, North Carolina. Some guy in a cheap blazer droning on about company culture. Danielle leaned over and whispered, "If this man says synergy one more time, I'm walking into traffic." I laughed so hard the human resources lady shot me the dirtiest look I've ever gotten at work. From that day forward, we were inseparable. I don't mean inseparable casually, I mean deep. She was the first person I called when my father got his diagnosis. Stage 3. She drove 4 hours to sit with me in a hospital waiting room, held my hand for 6 hours. I was there for her too. When her engagement fell apart, she showed up with a trash bag of clothes and mascara running down her face. Lived on my couch for 3 months, because you don't charge family rent. You don't keep a tab on the people you love. I wish I had. After 5 years of grinding at other companies, we built our own. A small digital marketing agency called Ember Creative, 2 laptops, a shared office the size of a walk-in closet. She handled clients, I handled finances. By year 5, we were pulling in over $400,000 a year. The day we signed the lease, Danielle hugged me in the parking lot and said, "We actually did it." God help me, I believed every word. The first crack appeared around year 6. Danielle started missing our Friday finance reviews. Client emergency. Migraine. I completely forgot. Monday would come and she'd have another excuse. I didn't push. You don't interrogate your best friend over a missed meeting. At least, that's what I told myself. Then the expenses started looking strange. Software subscriptions I didn't recognize. A $1,200 charge at a furniture store listed as office supplies. When I asked, she always had an answer. Smooth. Instant. "I'll forward you the login." She never did, but every time a doubt crept in, I crushed it. Because this was Danielle. The woman who drove 4 hours to hold my hand. The woman who slept on my couch. She would never lie to me. That was impossible. That's the thing about trust. When it's real, it makes you generous. And when it's fake, it makes you the easiest target in the room. Year 8, a Saturday morning in October, that's when my world collapsed. I was filing our quarterly taxes. Danielle was on a client retreat in Nashville. I needed a bank statement she was supposed to upload. So I logged into the business account myself. The balance was $61,000. I stared at the screen. Refreshed. Stared again. 61,000. It should have been over 200,000. We'd invoiced over 90,000 in September alone. Where the hell was the money? My first thought was a glitch. Some banking error. But something in my gut told me to dig deeper. So I pulled up the transaction history. And the quarter before that. And the one before that. What I found made me physically sick. Transfers. Dozens of them. Stretching back 4 years. 5,000 here, 8,000 there, 20,000. 31,000 in a single month. All going to an account I'd never seen. All authorized with my signature, my name. On documents I had never touched. I stood up, walked to the bathroom, and threw up. My body rejected what my eyes had seen. My nervous system understood the betrayal before my brain could catch up. I washed my face, went back to the table, printed everything. 47 pages spread across my kitchen table like a crime scene. I went through them line by line, until 3 in the morning. Here's what Danielle had been doing for 4 years. She set up a personal bank account under a slightly different version of her name, forged my signature on wire transfer forms, created fake vendor invoices, took out a line of credit in both our names, using my social security number, and maxed it out. $85,000 of debt, with my name on it, $342,000, over 4 years, while sitting across from me at our Friday meetings, while texting me "love you sis" every Sunday night like clockwork. I drove past her apartment that night. The second wave of nausea hit. Parked in her driveway, a brand new BMW jet black, through her window, new furniture, a mounted television the size of a wall, a renovated kitchen. The math started doing itself. The BMW 60,000, the kitchen, another 30, the designer bags, the Turks and Caicos vacation she said she got a deal on. She had been wearing my money, driving my money, while I drove a 9-year-old Honda and packed lunch every day. She built herself a new life, funded by money she stole from us. I drove home, sat on my kitchen floor, cried until my ribs ached, not because of the money, because the person I trusted most had been robbing me blind for 4 years, looking me in the eye. That was the last time I cried over Danielle. After that night, something inside me went cold. Monday morning, 8 in the morning sharp, I called a lawyer, a criminal defense attorney who handled white-collar prosecution. I brought the 47 pages. He went through them with a yellow highlighter for 2 hours without speaking. When he finally looked up, he said 5 words that changed everything. "This is felony embezzlement. Textbook." He referred me to a forensic accountant named Patricia. 20 years of tracing financial fraud. It took Patricia 6 weeks. During that time, I still had to see Danielle every day, smile back when she brought me coffee. My lawyer said, "Do not confront her." So I texted her back on Sunday nights, "Love you too, sis." 3 words that tasted like poison every time I typed them. Patricia's report came back 200 pages, $342,000, forged signatures, fabricated invoices, identity theft, all documented, all time-stamped. She didn't outsmart me. She outtrusted me, and that's worse. My lawyer laid out 2 paths. Path 1, confront her privately. No charges. Path 2, turn it over to the district attorney, felony embezzlement, forgery, identity theft, wire fraud. Everyone told me to take the quiet route. "Don't destroy her," my aunt said. My own mother said, "Sweetheart, you'll regret sending her to prison. She was like a daughter to me." Part of me wanted to call her. Part of me still wanted to believe there was a version where we could salvage 15 years. But then I'd look at the report. My signature, forged, my social security number, used without my knowledge, $85,000 of debt sitting on my credit report like a scar. She engineered a 4-year criminal operation with me as the target. She looked at our friendship and saw an opportunity. She looked at my trust and saw a vulnerability. I chose path 2. I called the district attorney on a Thursday afternoon and gave them everything. He took one look at Patricia's report and filed charges within a week. 4 counts. Felony embezzlement, forgery, identity theft, wire fraud. Danielle was arrested on a Wednesday morning, at her apartment, in her bathrobe. The detective said she didn't resist, just said, "Can I put on shoes first?" She called me from county jail that night. I let it ring. She was sobbing. "Please, this isn't who I am." I was going to pay it all back. I put my phone in a drawer. Slept 9 hours straight. Best sleep I'd had in months. The thing nobody tells you about betrayal at this level. The anger doesn't come first. The grief does. The person who drove 4 hours to hold my hand in a hospital? That person was gone. Maybe she never existed. My lawyer told me I was the most prepared victim he'd ever worked with. I said, "I'm not a victim. I'm a witness. There's a difference." The trial lasted 3 days. Day 1, the financial evidence. Patricia walked the jury through every transaction, every forged signature, every fake invoice. The defense argued implied authorization. Patricia said, "That doesn't explain why she forged the plaintiff's signature on 43 documents." The courtroom went silent. Day 2. Witnesses. Former clients testified Danielle billed them for work she never did. Our office manager testified Danielle asked her to shred financial documents. She refused. Got fired the next day. Then it was my turn. I took the stand. The prosecutor asked me to describe our friendship. 15 years, in front of strangers. I talked about the internship, the couch, the hospital, and the bank statements that Saturday morning. How my first instinct wasn't anger, it was disbelief. I looked at Danielle once during my testimony, staring at the table, hair shorter, smaller than I remembered, like the 23-year-old girl I met a lifetime ago. And for 1 second, one terrible, gut-wrenching second, I wanted to step down, walk over to her, hug her, tell her I forgave her. But then the prosecutor put the forged signatures back on the screen. My name, written in her handwriting. And the feeling passed, and it never came back. Day 3, closing arguments. Then the jury left. They came back in 4 hours. Guilty. All 4 counts. The judge sentenced Danielle to 3 years in state prison, 12 months behind bars, full restitution, 5 years of supervised probation. Danielle's mother wailed from the back row, a sound I will never forget. My lawyer put his hand on my shoulder. I didn't move, didn't cry, didn't feel relief. I felt hollow, like someone had scooped out 15 years of memories and left a shell in a courtroom. I closed Ember Creative 3 months after the trial. Couldn't walk into that office anymore. Her chair still at her desk, her coffee mug still in the cabinet. I spent the next 2 years paying off the $85,000 credit line she opened in my name. Rebuilt my credit 1 point at a time. Danielle served 11 months. Got out on good behavior last spring. She hasn't tried to contact me. I heard she moved out of state. People ask me all the time if I'd do it differently. Take the private route, the handshake deal. No, absolutely not. When someone steals from you at this level, they're not just taking money. They're taking your reality, poisoning years of your life, turning your happiest memories into crime scenes. And the only way to take that power back is to stand up in a room full of strangers, look the truth in the face, and say out loud, for the record, "This happened, she did this, and it was wrong." There's an empty chair at my Thanksgiving table now, but sometimes, late at night, I still reach for my phone to text her something funny I saw. 15 years of muscle memory. But I sleep fine, every single night, and that's enough. Some debts aren't measured in dollars, they're measured in years, in trust. In the quiet moments you gave to someone who was counting your money behind your back. Next time on Red Stories, a woman walks into the job she loves and discovers a powerful executive has been quietly destroying women in that building for 6 years. Then, he picks the wrong target. What she builds against him ends his career, his reputation, and his entire industry. Don't miss the 15 who were afraid. If you think she got what she deserved, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, have you ever been betrayed by someone you considered family? I want to hear your story. Stay cold. Justice doesn't sleep.